Dawgs Live, presented by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. Thank you for being here. Show number 1 tonight. We're getting some bugs worked out, apparently, and we want to thank the folks from Napa for being here tonight. So, folks, give yourselves a hand as we get ready for football season. Coach Kirby Smart is here and ready to answer some of the questions that you sent in via social media as Georgia gets ready for the opener against Marshall on Saturday afternoon in Athens at Sanford Stadium. It's a 3:30 start, or shortly thereafter for the official kickoff. Airtime here on the Bulldogs Sports Network will be 11:30 a.m. Saturday morning, and we hope you can join us for that. Coach, congratulations, year number 10. We were talking a little bit earlier, 10 years, and man, that's a good long run. How does that feel?
I think it's awesome. I don't know if that's greater or the length of time I've been married. So, like, they're both accomplishments, and I don't know which one's greater, but 10 years in the SEC is quite a long time.
Does that take its toll in this league, as tough as it is?
Well, yeah, it does take its toll in terms of competitive nature and all the things going on in college football. I mean, it's not an easy journey nowadays, and I'm proud of the fact that we've put 10 good years together here at Georgia, and it's thanks to people like President Moorhead, Josh Brooks, all the players. I look back at the players that have played here since I've been here and the coaches that contributed to those players. So it takes a team effort in a village, and we've had just that to get 10 years in.
And this year's group in year number 10, what are your early thoughts on them as you get ready for that opener on Saturday afternoon?
I'm excited to see them go play. I don't like to make a lot of presumptions or assumptions or anything about a team. I mean, everybody wants to say, what's this team like? What are they going to be like? I don't think we really know yet. I think we find out when things get hard, when things get tough. We've seen a lot of competitive stuff in practice. I've seen a lot of great leadership. I've seen guys pushing other guys and a lot of buy-in. So I'm excited to see them go play.
Anything stand out from what you've seen from these guys in previous years from other teams? I mean, do you had any kind of wow moments from individual players in practice, or any other thing that's affiliated with the program?
I'm not a big wow guy. I don't like wow moments. I'm much more into culture and consistency and leadership and those things. So. Just not a good storyteller or not a good wow guy. I mean, I don't find wows. I find it the work that they put in day to day is what wows me.
Not even the national championships, that didn't wow you?
No, it's not wow. That's what you're supposed to do, right? You just keep working and getting better and bringing your team along. And it doesn't make for a lot of great individual stories, but it makes for great team success.
We saw earlier this week cut-down day in the NFL this week, and a lot of Bulldogs on NFL rosters again, and that's that's kind of a shining moment. I don't know if that's a wow moment. It might be for the guys that made the teams, but your thoughts on all of those guys and the talent that leaves here and goes to the next level.
Yeah, I'm happy for those guys. They get to realize dreams, and so many of them put so much sweat into here. I mean, we had, I think, 5 or 6 guys that were 5-year or 6-year that all made NFL teams. And that's really cool to me when you get a guy that's been in this program for 5 years or 6 years, and then he's capable of going and making an NFL roster. A lot of kids that play 5, 6 years don't make an NFL roster because they weren't good enough to go out early. The 3-year guys are ones that are like, oh, they're really good. And then it's 4-year. And then when you get a 5, 6-year guy, he makes it usually on toughness and experience and those values.
Georgia and Marshall coming up in the opener on Saturday afternoon. Again, it's a 3:30 start at Dooley Field at Sanford Stadium. Hope you can be there to cheer on the Dawgs as they kick off 2025 season here in Athens. Tonight's program brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. And we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and get to your questions, and we may have some questions from our audience, too. Our friends from Napa are here as our guest audience tonight, so come on back. More of the show right after this on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Georgia gears up for Marshall on Saturday. Game weekend is here. You can tell there's a game in town this weekend because Millage Avenue is just bumper to bumper in every direction, I think.
Absolutely.
Who do we have here? David.
Yes, sir.
Hey, David, welcome to the show. Go ahead with your question for Coach.
Coach, I just want to see how how much do you get to enjoy your time when you do get down to God's country down at Lake Oconee?
You say, how often do I get down there, or how do I enjoy my time? I enjoy my time.
How much do you enjoy your time when you're
I
there?
love my time down there. It's almost like my wife's so upset with me because we don't go very often, and I don't get a chance to go. But when we go, it's like almost I don't know the adjective to describe it, but we just feel at peace because we don't think about work. You know, when you get down there, you go out there, and it's just like every time I'm there, I'm resting. It's peace of mind, not a lot to worry about, friends and family. So it's a very
enjoyable time.
Enjoyable time. It's very enjoyable, and I enjoy it. So we get to play a little golf down there, and it's fun.
Yes, sir.
David, thanks for your question.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it. One from social media, Chris and Madison sent this one in for you. Coach, is it normal for players to have first game jitters, and how do you address that?
Well, there's no real way to address it. I mean, we like to tell people all the time that you have nothing to be nervous about if you've made it through 25 of our practices. You know, the practices are harder than the game, and we build them that way so they go into the game with a lot of confidence. And that's what you're supposed to do in practice, is instill confidence by what you do. And our guys have done that, so they should be nothing but confident to go into a game and play. But every young player has it. I had it as a young player. We'll have guys that have it, and they got to work through it, and you got to play through it. And a lot of times you don't even get through it till you go on the road. So it'll be week 3 before we get a chance to do that. But I'm excited to see these guys grow up.
All of these guys have played a lot of football at a lot of different levels, and some of them have even played in Sanford Stadium before. Some have not. So they will be in front of 90-plus thousand this weekend, and it should be very exciting. Travis in Athens, Georgia, says, coming out of camp, are there any words that come to mind to describe this team so far?
Ooh, I mean, the obvious, passionate, fiery. I mean, those are things we've kind of built the program around. But consistency and tough. That's what I like. I like the fact that they've been really tough. We've scrimmaged more, we've hit more, we've tackled more, we've challenged them. Doesn't always equate to instant success. I mean, we got to go out and play the game, but I'm proud of where this team is.
You mentioned tackling, and I think early on, and right as camp was getting underway, I think that was a point of emphasis for you guys since last season. How has that gone, and how much did you do more live tackling to try to get better at it?
Well, we always do the scrimmages live. We have 2 of those, so we kept that the same. We did have 2 or 3 practices where we did periods within the practice where we went live and thought that it would help our backs break tackles and help our defensive players make tackles. So we did more than we have done, but we don't do a lot. It's high injury rate. But I think these early games are where you've really got to get your tackling down in live game situations.
Did you come out of camp pretty healthy for the most part?
Yeah, we did. We had a few ankles, and that's been frustrating, but it's part of the game.
Let's see, Jackson in Sewanee, Georgia. How beneficial was it for Gunner to finish last season as the starter, and how has he built off those performances?
Well, I think those performances have given him confidence. You know, he had the spring practice, too, to gain confidence, and then he's had the entire preseason camp and practices. So he's had a lot of work against really good defenses. You know, he went against Texas for a half that was a top 10 defense in the country. He went against Notre Dame for a game, a top 5 defense in the country, and then he's gone against us all through camp. So, you know, he hasn't had many opportunities to take a deep breath and be able to go out there and play. This is his first time playing in Sanford Stadium, so I know he'll be excited for that.
For those that may not know and are listening in tonight, what is his personality like as a quarterback? I mean, are they different when he's on the field than when he's just regular old Gunner up from Rabun County?
I don't know that they are. I mean, his personality off the field is similar to his one on the field. He does what he needs to lead. He's very confident. He is more vocal on the field because he has to be. I don't think he wants to be, but he knows that he has to be vocal, and he does a good job doing that. He has command of the offense. He's got great experience with Coach Bobo. Sat in meetings for 3 years now, and he understands when this happens, I do this. And if this is coming, then I do this. And in this situation, he gets situational football, and that's so critical for that position.
You mentioned earlier this month that being a quarterback is like having to be a computer. Just all the information you have to process all the time. In your experience, what amount of time does it take for a guy to really get good at the system in which he's working?
Well, that varies on the person. I mean, it could be as little as 1 year, or it could be as many as 3 years, and that varies based on how much experience I get in that 1 year and how much practice reps I get. You know, these kids don't get a ton of reps their first year at quarterback because there's somebody in front of them. If they're better than them, then they'll move up quickly. But Gunner's one of those guys that's taken quite a few reps every year. His reps have increased, and with his increase in reps, the more he gets the offense. It's usually hard when you're in and out of offenses every year, and especially ours, because ours is a little more complicated. We put more on the quarterback than a lot of people.
Georgia and Marshall on Saturday, the season opener, their home opener, 3:30 for the kick, or shortly thereafter, 11:30 for the airtime here on the Bulldogs Sports Network. And we hope you can join us on Saturday and continue to join us tonight. Come on back. We're going to step aside for just a moment. More with Coach Kirby Smart here on Bulldogs Live right after this on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Bulldogs, and we're taking questions for Coach, both from social media and from our audience. Our friends from Napa are here as our guest audience. And we've got Brent with a question. Hi, Brent. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Coach. So as a father raising two student athletes, I've always tried to instill leadership and things into their, repertoire. And so I've always told them from the time they were 5 till, one's in college and one's in high school, that you don't have to be good all the time. You have to be good when it's time. And so my question was, what is your favorite quote or any kind of thing like that has inspired your leadership skills and success through the years?
A lot of quotes to live by. We were just talking about one this week. We were talking about first impressions, and one of the quotes was Martin Luther King, and he said, "You don't need to worry about the entire staircase. You just need to take the first step." And that was a big one for me, looking at the first game, because so many people are worried about the end of the season, and you want to think about what you want in the end in the beginning, and that's the first step. The first step is think about what you got to do now and not worry about the entire staircase. I like the WIN theory, the acronym for what's important now, because every time I get overwhelmed or I feel like I got too much on my plate, I got this going on, that going on, I can't handle this, can't do that, what is important right now? And just try to knock one thing out at a time, because there's so many things going on, and that acronym's always helped us.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Go Dogs.
Yep.
Brent, thanks very much. Hey, let's look ahead now. Brought to you by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. The penalty for getting a DUI can cost up to $10,000. That's why the Governor's Office of Highway Safety says drive sober so you won't get pulled over. And, Coach, what are you looking for from the weekend? As you kind of touched on that with that last answer, just the first step now. But what are some of your thoughts about weekend number one of the season?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see these kids go play. They have to go out there, get a call, get a signal, without their coach yelling and screaming at them from the sideline, telling them what to do. Let them go execute and respond to maybe something different. We go against each other so much that you almost become predictable. Like, I know what play's coming. I know what defense is coming. I know what offense is coming. And then when you play a new team, you don't. And we don't know what they're going to do. We have no clue. And so I want to see our guys respond to that and let them go play. Who can play tackle football the best? And Gunner, letting Gunner go play. And he doesn't get to be himself in a lot of scrimmages because he doesn't get tackled. So he has off-schedule plays, where he scrambles around. And in this environment, he's going to be live, and he gets a chance to go make some plays and make good decisions.
How frequent is it that you said you don't know what Marshall's going to do? How frequent is that? Is it just the first game every year because of that, where it's positioned on the schedule, and then you get tape on everybody else? But, how many times do you go into game when you're, I won't say it's blind, but you have less knowledge, I guess, of what the other team likes to do?
Yeah, this is one of the most blind games I've ever gone into in terms of not knowing what they're going to do or who they're going to do it with. I've played a lot of first games of the season with new coaching staffs, so that's kind of like, I don't know. But in this case, it's not just the new coaching staff, it's a new team, and that makes it, they don't know each other as well either. So there's a side of that for them. They're trying to figure out who they are, and we're trying to figure out who they are. So, and then, every year teams have new wrinkles. We're not going to be the exact same team we were last year. We're doing different things defensively, offensively, that maybe they haven't seen. So that works both ways.
Yeah, this is a group that's got, I think I saw the number, over 70 new players on the roster. It's some huge number, and that leads us to our next question from Andrew and Marietta. What is the key to getting transfers to buy into our team culture?
Well, first, pick the right transfer, right? Like, not all transfers are going to buy in. So we're very selective over who we bring into our organization. We don't just let anybody come. We interview, we talk to, we do research. We try to call the schools, make sure they fit. We knew them in high school coming out. So there's no perfect answer to how you get transfers to fit your culture, but usually if you have good culture, it takes care of the transfers.
Has that process changed a lot over the years, just from a typical transfer maybe 10 years ago to what it is now?
Oh, yeah. It's changed a lot. I mean, 10 years ago, you'd have maybe one transfer on the whole team, maybe two. Now it's all over the place. I mean, we got guys in leadership groups, blue hats, fire, passion, energy guys. There's great examples of guys that are culture builders that came from other programs that are part of ours now.
And as you said, you have to vet a lot of players. I mean, it's kind of transitioning to how they do it in the professional leagues.
Well, not really. In the professional leagues, they have a contract, and they're bound to a team for a certain number of years. They're drafted. It's 4 years, 5 years. They could be on a one-year deal, but our guys are all on one-year deals. So there's a lot more transient and a lot less stability than what you have in the NFL.
Chad in Decatur, Georgia. What can fans expect from Zachariah Branch?
Well, if it's based on anything in camp, excitement, energy. The guy practices really hard. He gives you everything he's got every day. I mean, there's days that people are leaving the office and they've called and said, hey, this guy's still up here working at 9 o'clock. He's catching balls. He's running routes. I mean, the guy loves football. And part of the reason he came here is he wanted to be where everybody around him loved football. And that I've noticed that. I'm like, this guy, like, he loves the game. He enjoys practicing every day, and it's important to him. And he's bought into our culture, and I'm excited to see him go play.
All right, Zachariah Branch and the rest of the Bulldogs will be taking the field Saturday as Marshall comes to town for the season and the home opener, Georgia and Marshall. 11:30 airtime here on the Bulldogs Sports Network this weekend, just after 3:30 for the kickoff at Sanford Stadium. This is Bulldogs Live with Georgia head coach Kirby Smart, and we'll have more questions for the coach right after this on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Bulldogs Live presented each week by Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. And let's grab another question from our friends from Napa here, our audience tonight. This is Chris. Hi, Chris. Go ahead with your question for Coach.
How has your coaching strategy changed to keep team camaraderie up in spite of the NIL and the portal?
I don't know the strategy. I haven't changed a lot strategy-wise. I think you build a team through the off-season. And if your team is your team in January and, you lose players and they go in the portal and they come, if you build your team in January and you spend time with them in the off-season, our strength staff, we have 5 strength coaches that invest a lot of time in those guys. We spend time in what we call skull sessions, getting to know each other. We go through 15 grueling spring practices. We work out early in the morning at the stadium at 6 a.m. By the time the summer comes, that team's starting to gel, and they're starting to get to know each other, and they're all held to the same standard and accountable, that there's not like this guy's the best player, or he came from here in the portal. Like, if you come here, before you come, you understand that you're buying into the way we do things. And if you don't like that, then don't come. Because I don't want you to come here and us to invest in you in a year and then you leave and go somewhere in the portal. So we make very clear understandings of what the standards are and then try to get players to abide by it.
Thank you, Coach. Go Dawgs.
Chris, appreciate it. Thanks for your question. Somebody wanted me to ask you this question. It's not from our social media list tonight, but they wanted to know if you still use the helicopter when you're recruiting.
I can't remember the last time I did. I do, but I don't. I do when I need to, but I haven't had much of a chance. I mean, I don't get to go out in the spring, so I only get to go out in the fall and winter months. And sometimes, like, there's a couple of days last year I was going to use it, but the weather didn't let me. So yeah, I still use it, but it's just when it's efficient. When I can get to more schools by using it,
right,
then I choose to use it.
Do you like flying in that? Or is it nerve-wracking?
Well, I wouldn't think it's nerve-wracking. It's just the smell of the gas, the fuel, and the up and down, up and down, up and down. I don't enjoy that part, but I'm much more efficient. and I would rather trade the efficiency than the sitting in the car going from school to school. It's a lot faster to go helicopter.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's see. JT and Valdosta sent this one in. For those of us that don't know much about Marshall, what can you tell us about them based on your preparation?
Well, they're extremely physical on the offensive line. So they got these big offensive linemen. Their offensive coordinator comes from Jacksonville State, which Jacksonville State was Rich Rod last year. They played on a lot of Thursday nights. They led the country in number of plays per game, which means they go fast. They led some parts of the rushing stats in the country. They were number one for getting rushing yards. Well, why is that? Well, they got the most plays. So if you get the most plays and you run it a lot, then you're probably going to have good rushing yards. So they really do that well. And then their defensive staff kind of mirrors their head coach. And we don't know a lot about the individual players. We know a lot about the style of play. So we're going to be doing a lot of, okay, who's where, a lot of chess pieces moving and trying to figure out in the locker room, like, okay, who's who and where is everybody.
Did you like the way the scrimmages went during your training camp? Did everything, for the most part, flow smoothly? And, you know, as far as getting guys on the field and certain special teams units and all the things that you guys work on?
Yeah, I felt good about both scrimmages. Really, the first scrimmage, it was weird. Like most time, the first scrimmage was really sloppy and ours was like, man, it was cool. We called that really cool time, and I was like, these guys are flying around like there was game speed. And then the next one was super hot, 105 heat index in the stadium where the air doesn't blow, and we struggled a little bit. And I was like, well, that's not the typical order. It's usually 1 and then 2 gets better. This was 1 pretty good, and then 2 was rough around some edges. So it's, you know, every year it's different.
Let's see. Michael Athens, he has a weather question. Mild weather this week. Has that added a little more juice to the practice? To players, well, I guess they like it when it's cooler, right?
Yeah, they tend to keep their speeds up longer, you know. I mean, I think mentally it's good for you to push through hot weather and go out there and do it, but sometimes I'm like, what are we getting out of this? These guys are out here and they can barely move. But the weather was a little better this week, and we're hoping for good weather Saturday. We're concerned about, you know, some rain and things being in the area.
What is the coach's preference for weather during your training camp? Heat?
Well, I don't know.
Just to kind of build the –
I like a good mixture because
yeah.
I want to get the speed of the game. I want guys to be able to practice fast. We don't play in heat all the time, so we don't need to practice in heat all the time. We come in some, but then we're on the turf too much. So you like a good balance. I thought this was the coolest camp we've ever had.
Georgia and Marshall this weekend. It is just after 3:30 for the kickoff. We've got the game for you here on the Bulldogs Sports Network. We'll start our broadcast at I think Adam's already preparing tonight, as a matter of fact. 11:30 on Saturday morning, we'll hit the air and give you a full day of Georgia football right here on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Come on back. We've got a little bit more with Kirby Smart, and then we'll turn it over to the Bulldogs All-Stars at the top of the hour. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Bulldogs Live, presented by Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. And another question from our friends from Napa, who are our guest audience tonight, and this is Chris Part 2. Hi, Chris. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Coach, what measures do your medical staff take throughout the season to ensure the coaches perform at a high level every week and keep y'all healthy throughout the year?
That's a great question. I thought that we couldn't have one question we haven't heard in 10 years, but I've never heard that one. So what do the medical staff do to make sure that we perform at a high level? There's not a lot they can do because they can't mandate anything for us. I mean, we've had coaching issues. We've had some guys with some different, like we had a guy last year on our staff have heart issues and had to get taken to the emergency room. Ron Corson and his staff do a tremendous job requiring people to get physicals. So before the season starts, every year we have an annual executive physical where they take you in and they go through all the checks and balances. We can't make people do that. So some of our coaches choose to do it, some of them don't. My wife has taken the approach every year since I've been in Alabama. I've done a physical for 20 straight years, and I have the numbers to show the steady decline of health. And I'm like, okay, this is what the SEC does to you right here. I got 20 years of evidence. You can look at the blood pressure go up and all the different things. But there's not a lot they can do in-house. But they become our primary care physicians. And I didn't know, because I've been in coaching so long, I didn't know what a primary care physician was. I thought my primary care physician was the trainer. And mine was Ron Corson. So if I ever had a tooth hurt, an earache, a headache, it didn't feel good, you went to Ron Corson. or you went to who your trainer was. And we don't have a lot of time for doctors. And people are like, what do you mean? You're crazy. And I'm like, no, I just get up and go to work every day. And if you don't feel good, you just get up and go to work and you go see the trainer. But we try to encourage coaches to take care of themselves. I always remember Jerry Spurrier and Steve Spurrier talking to me and my wife early on. And he talked about, you got to take care of yourself. And if you're not careful, you can not do that, and then you shorten your career.
Chris, thanks for your question. Good question, and good answer too, man. There's a lot of thought that went into that, and a lot of experience, right?
Yeah, 20 years, man. I'm telling you, it's stressful, and a lot of coaches just don't take care of themselves. They don't, especially in season. We try to, but you have to be willing to, and you have to want to.
The season is here. In fact, there are a handful of games tonight. We've got some early scores. If you're interested, South Florida leading Boise State 10-7 in the third. North Carolina State 10-0 on East Carolina second quarter. And Missouri with an early 6-0 lead on Central Arkansas.
Well, what about Samford and West Georgia?
I didn't have that one.
Man.
Do you have that score? We can look it up during the commercial. Let's grab another question from Emily in Atlanta. There's been an online debate lately about who is the best high school football rivalry in the state. Do you have a take on that?
Oh, man. They change so fast. They have these 2-year schedules. So, like, the first thing that pops off at me is Valdosta Lowndes, right? Because that's where I'm from. Huge rivalry. They've played for so long. Valdosta has all the tradition. Lowndes has been a great program. Thomasville Central is a great rivalry. There's just so many good ones across our state. It's hard to pick just one. I mean, the old Gwinnett rivalries, Parkview Brookwood, was just incredible. North Oconee. I mean, Clark Central Cedar Shoals. But they change too fast. Buford has become a really good program, and Buford and Milton are playing now, and they're making that's a big-time rivalry. But you can't just pick one because it changes every year.
I'm not sure what I haven't seen the online debate, so I'm kind of in the dark about that one, but I'm not sure who.
Yeah, I actually hadn't seen the online debate either, so I may be missing out on some big ones.
I don't know who Emily wanted you to say, but there's your answer, Emily, so thanks for your question. Jacob and Bogart, do you like to travel during the summer, and if so, where?
I don't like to travel. That's part of my issue. I prefer.
Well, that would take care of that, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So my wife's not real happy about that. She wants to go on a trip at all times. A trip to me is just going to the lake. But she enjoys traveling. I'm going to have to suck it up, I think, here in the next couple of summers and go some places because our kids are graduating. Our twins are graduating. So we'll probably take some family trips and go some places. She really wants to go to Spain and Italy. I've voiced that several times, and I choose not to go right now. When
is the time in a coach's life to do a trip like that?
It's summer. It's off season. There's some time in February, and there's some time in July. But those are the 2 months that you can do things.
Okay, we got a big question now from Amanda in Winder, and this is absolutely huge. Thoughts on Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce engagement?
Yeah, we just had this discussion.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, it's I don't have a lot of thoughts. I wouldn't have known other than the fact my phone got texted by my wife within 3 seconds of the engagement happened. She went crazy and told me that I needed to play Taylor Swift at practice all day because in honor of her getting engaged. She told me it would happen a while back. I told her no way, and then it happened. And she made sure I knew that she had the dress that Taylor Swift had on. When she got engaged, my wife wore it before Taylor did. So she was mighty proud of that.
So you guys had a conversation about it?
Well, I mean, if you call that a conversation. I mean,
maybe a one-sided conversation.
A text message, but, yeah, it was a conversation.
All right. Amanda, I asked your question, so I hope you're satisfied. Let's get one more before the break. Let's see. Besides a win, this is from Sean in Athens. Besides a win, what are some of the key things you're looking for in the season opener?
To see how guys compete, see how they respond. Inevitably, there's going to be good and bad plays, and we've spent a lot of time talking about the mental training it takes to have. And if you know that not everything's going to go your way, right, and you know that something bad is going to happen in a game somewhere, then why are you disappointed in it, and why do you struggle to respond to it? So the mechanism I want to see is the composure and the bounce back when something negative happens. It's easy to respond well when something good happens. I want to see our guys handle it and step up their game if things don't go their way.
Bulldogs take the field Saturday, hosting Marshall, 11:30 airtime here on the Bulldogs Sports Network. We hope you can join us. And come on back. We've got one more segment with the coach before the Bulldogs All-Stars take over at the top of the hour. Back in a moment on the Bulldogs Sports Network. We've just got a few seconds here, so in about 20 seconds, any final thoughts as you get ready for the opener on Saturday? I'm sure everybody in this room and beyond is looking forward to it.
Excited, man. Want to see our guys go play and cut loose and make some plays and find out more about this team.
Kirby, thanks very much for your time. We appreciate it. Enjoyed it tonight.
Thank y'all. Go Dogs.
Coach Kirby Smart with us here on Bulldogs Live. Our